Hello, I'm Sheila Guillotone, and this is the Simsbury Woman. I'm delighted that today we have a program to intrigue and delight everyone who enjoys reading. Books and the stories they tell have always had an important place in nurturing our imaginations and creativity. My guest today is Lisa Natcharian, who has taken her love for books and reading and created a unique venue right here on Main Street in Simsbury. The Storyteller's Cottage is a wonderful place where readers can immerse themselves in all manner of activities centered around your favorite books and authors. Everyone in Simsbury who drives up and down Main Street is sure to have noticed the beautiful renovation of the little Victorian house tucked between Eno Hall and Fiddler's Green. That little house is now an exciting new venue which hosts literary events, writers' retreats, literary escape rooms, and all sorts of events to encourage the creative writer and reader. Do you like to write? Try immersing yourself in your favorite genre. Is it mystery, horror, fantasy? Every month, enjoy a 3-hour exploration of the genre, and then settle in to write your own epic. And you get to do it in spaces designed to encourage your imagination. How inspired would you be writing your tale in Alice in Wonderland's garden or the great hall of a mysterious castle? The cottage will also feature local writers discussing their works, and kids and teens are not left out. They're invited to come and play in magical fantasy spaces. Do you want to solve mysteries like Nancy Drew or play Dungeons and Dragons? Perhaps you want an authentic place for your book club to meet or join a fascinating literary society. There are so many possibilities, but I'm not the one to explain these options, so please welcome my guest, Lisa Natcharian. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
Normally, I start by asking people how they got to this stage, but you have a fairly nice biography on your website, which will be on the title page of this show. So could we just skip ahead to how did you come up with the idea for the Storyteller's Cottage?
This was a lot of things all pulled together into one location when I saw the house. So my husband and I bought the Fiddler's Green property as an investment, and this house is attached to it, and it came empty. And they told us when we looked at it, this was offices, they were law offices, they were real estate offices. And when we saw it, I thought to myself, we can do better than that. This is a place that needs to be something special. So just gave a little bit of thought, and it really all came together very quickly. This is the combination of all the different things that I like and the kind of place that I'd like to go to. So of years of thinking, I wish there was a place like this, that, or the other. Here it is.
Okay, a little bit of history about the house. You have that on your website, and you recently had a ribbon cutting ceremony with the Chamber of Commerce. A little history of the house itself. I know when I first moved here many years ago, it was offices. And but there's a longer ago history.
Yes, it was built by Alexander Pattison, who was a local state senator, and he married the daughter of the man who owned the general store on Wilcox Street, which is right where McLadden's is right now, that side. And he was very prominent and a great philanthropist, and I think the house stayed in the Pattison family right through the 60s or even 70s. And I understand that the fire marshal's wife's grandmother lived there. Up there. Don't know her name. But she was a Pattison, and after they left, it became part of the commercial property right next door. And it cycled through a lot of different businesses in there. And judging by the mail that I still get, there were just quite a number of offices in there. And then just most recently, the previous owner was living there. Converted it to a residence.
So it was actually a residence again.
It was for a short time.
No one has any idea what the Storyteller's Cottage is, so let's break it down into. I went on your website. I recommend to all of our viewers, go to the website. It is full of information. But let's talk about the Great Scott rooms. You've got 3 of them.
Yes.
And it sounds like something I'm kind of planning to do with my family over the holidays when our daughter comes home. Explain what that is and how they work. And you have 3 different ones.
Yes. So the Storyteller's Cottage itself, it encompasses all kinds of literary events and adventures, and this is the adventures part of it. So it has a separate name. It's the Great Scott Mystery Rooms, and these are a variety of an escape room game. And escape rooms became popular just a couple of years ago.
Right.
And generally, it's you bring a team of people into a room and you have
and you're locked in and you have to find the key.
And it's full of clues and puzzles and riddles, and you have to find the key to get to escape. These are a little bit different. They are mystery rooms because you're never locked in, but it's the same idea. You're with your team of up to 8 people, and there's a mystery that you need to solve, and you have 1 hour to do it by pretty much ransacking the room to find the clues, anything hidden. There's all kinds of things that are locked, or maybe they're hidden under something and you need something from here and something from there, and then you need to use your brain
to figure out. Where do you get the clues? Are you?
I'm making them up.
You're making the clues up. Okay. All
so
right.
the 3 rooms, each one is based on a sort of classic mystery novel.
Okay.
The first one that will open in the beginning of November is the Detective's Dinner Party. And there, the story that you're playing in, you're a detective and you're invited to the home of an eccentric millionaire, and his hobby is solving unsolved historic mysteries, like who was Jack the Ripper, Lizzie Borden, did she really do it? So when you get there, you are surprised to find out that he himself is dead, and now the door's closed.
The detective who invited you.
Yes, what happened to him. So you have an hour in his home, in this room, to find out what happened to him, and all the clues are there. And if you're sharp, you can figure it out. And you're a detective, so you should be able to figure it out. The other 2 rooms that room is downstairs, and that's a handicapped accessible room. It's the red room, the one before and after, the after page. This was a lot of fun, actually. It didn't feel like work.
Really?
It was
that's
fun.
good. Okay, so the other rooms then are?
The other rooms are the Agatha Christie's bedroom upstairs. She has disappeared, and you have to find out what happened to her. And then the third room is the Legend of the Fairy Queen. And there, again, it looks like a bedroom when you come in, and the story that you're playing in is you're staying with your grandparents for the summer in their farmhouse. And as you're looking around, because your grandfather locked your suitcase and you can't find the key, you end up finding distress messages. Someone needs your help. Turns out it's fairies who live in this room. The fairies need your help because the dragons are giving them trouble. So you need to figure out what you can do to help the fairies. There are a lot of mysteries that are uncovered as you start to go through the room. It's not just a bedroom.
Oh, that is so cool. So do you need reservations? Does it cost? I mean, didn't quite get the concept of, so how does one go about utilizing one of these rooms?
So you put your team together first and then reserve online all at once. And it's $30 a person. You can play it with up to 8 people. As few as 2 people, you probably wouldn't want to play it by yourself because you couldn't finish in an hour. It's good to have a teammate. And if you had more than 8 people, you can reserve 2 rooms and play against each other and see who can get out of their room first, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
And for the most part, it's open on weekends. As we get going, we'll open it more hours, but we're going to start off with just the weekends. And so you'd reserve it ahead of time. It's not, you can't really walk in and play because someone else might be already reserved.
So you said it's $30 per person, which is roughly in the area that I've been to escape rooms, and
it's the standard,
pretty normal standard cost
for this area.
Now you said 8 people at once, and if you had more than 8 people, you would reserve 2 rooms. You're not going to allow more than 8 people in the room.
It gets difficult with more than 8 people in the room because some people end up with nothing to do. It's not quite as fun. 8 is the best.
Good. So we said, a LARPing room. Now that's a term I had no idea what that meant, but I read on your website and I think I figured it out, but would you explain what it is?
LARPing stands for live action role playing.
Oh boy.
And it's another form of playing in a story. And there are LARPing groups out there where they decide what story they would like to play in, and each person becomes a character, and they have events where the characters interact with each other and the story changes, a little bit like those.
So is it like improv?
A little bit like improv, also a little bit like those choose your own ending books that we used to read, where as people do things, something else triggers. So we've combined that in the downstairs room, the detective's dinner party. When you get there, we'll give you a character. So you're playing actually as a character that has a backstory, and you are handed a clue that you can choose to keep to yourself or share with the group. So it changes a little bit how the team will work together. Will you be partners? Will you work against each other? Are you Sherlock Holmes and I'm Agatha Christie? And it gives it a different feeling.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I notice a lot of the pictures on your website, people are all dressed up, lots of them in the 20s. I assume you can do this in your normal clothes.
Yes, you can do this in your normal clothes. You can do anything you like.
Okay. It sounds to me, and this is just from the benefit of, years of work, but it sounds to me like something that would make a very unique and very interesting team building activity for companies. Is that something that you thought about?
Yes. In fact, a lot of the other escape rooms in the state offer that on weekdays to corporations to come as a team building, a leadership building, or some will even come to sort of assess their employees to see how well they interact with each other, because there are actually going to be cameras in the room, and there's a game master who keeps track of how things are going, and if the team is having trouble, can give them hints. But a corporation could come and the boss could watch how his employees interact with each other and learn a little bit more about them if they wanted to do that. So that's available as well.
That's a great idea. Book clubs is probably the next thing we should talk about. And there are a variety of different things. People have book clubs. They can rent space to have their book club meeting. But you also have a group of different book clubs. Why don't we talk about some of those and what they do and why one is different from another and how that functions?
So we created 3 specific group book clubs with combining them with specific activities that people might like. So for example, there's a book club called the Fair Isle Detectives, and that's specifically for people who love to knit. And you bring your knitting to the book club, and we're going to start out reading these campy mystery novels set in knitting shops. There's a whole series of these out there. Yes.
You're kidding.
The first one is called Knit 1, Kill 2.
I love it.
Yes. They're cute. And it's just a really fun way to get together with people who like the same kinds of things that you do. So we started that one yesterday, and we really hardly got anything done. There was a lot of talking happening, but it was fun. It was really great.
And people actually bring their own knitting?
You bring your own knitting. You talk about, whatever issues you're having. There was one woman who's very, very good at knitting, and I myself am not that good at knitting. So it was
I could get to a certain point and then never got better. Yeah,
good to be in the same room with someone that you could ask questions of, and just fun.
That is fun.
So there's another one that is the Great British Baking Club.
Oh yeah, tell me about that one.
The Great British Baking Show is on PBS.
I've heard of it.
It's a very charming baking competition show. And in this club,
the British are such wonderful chefs. They're
actually really good sports, and that's what's so nice about it. It's a beautiful setting, and they're all very charming. And this club is for people who love to bake and also love that sort of old-fashioned, enjoying that the genre there. So that one met for the first time today, and we were not allowed to cook at the house because it's not a commercial kitchen, but we were in the kitchen, which has this beautiful fireplace and couches around the fireplace, and we had a snack that matched the book. So this book, same kind of thing.
But you can bring food in.
You can bring food in from anywhere.
Okay.
The book that we read is the Lemon Meringue Pie Murder, and we had little lemon squares as our snack to go with the discussion. And we have a whole pile of cookbooks that people can borrow, and so again, you get together with people who like the same kind of things that you do.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, now we've got Homefront.
Homefront is the third one, and that's for people who really love vintage style, specifically from the 40s era.
Okay.
And those books are all set in World War II Britain, like spy novels and all similar to that kind of genre, and you can come to that book club in your vintage outfit if you so desire.
Okay.
That's not necessary, but it's fun if you love that kind of thing, and that it's hard to find other people who also love that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that is a fairly popular, not my personal favorite, but I think there are a lot of people who do. I know my husband's uncle had an entire set of toy soldiers that he used to fight World War II battles with. So yeah, I think that is probably something that would go. Mysterious Pendragon Society. Is this Pendragon in any way related to Arthur Pendragon?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. So, yeah, I believe it was King Arthur's father.
Yes.
His name was Arthur Pendragon.
It was the Pendragon line.
Yes.
Having watched the entire Merlin series, it was recently on. I know all about the Pendragons now.
So this is a club for kids who really love literature.
Oh, okay. So now let's talk about, because I did say this had to do, no, so this is a kid's part.
Mm-hmm. This is the kids' part. And the Pendragon Society is sort of a secret society. And
is it?
They have a very special location that they meet upstairs at the cottage. There is an enchanted library. And in the library, there's a wall that looks like a bookshelf, but it actually is a door. And there's a secret way to open this door, and you then walk into a room that looks like a castle.
Oh.
So the kids who come to the club, there are drop-in hours on Friday afternoon and evening. They can come and use that space, which also extends into another space that looks like Harry Potter's Gryffindor common room.
Well, I think we do actually have a picture of that one.
Is.
Yeah, which looks amazing. And is that Harry in the
it might be Harry.
mirror?
You just never know who you find in the mirror. Yes,
that's very cool. That was sort of the last picture I saw, which I think is lots of fun. So. The Pendragon Society is a sort of drop-in, and what kind of books are we reading there?
Those books are all fantasy books, so Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, anything in that area.
That
and
covers
also
a broad range of
there's
reading
a lot
ability
there.
too.
Yes, right. And it's the drop-in hours are divided a little bit around the dinner hours, so from 4 to 6, younger kids. From 7 to 9, older kids.
Oh, good idea.
So,
okay.
And there are a ton of board games, and you can come and find somebody to play chess with, or find somebody to play trivia with, or you can read, or you can play Dungeons and Dragons, or there's a card game they play called Magic the Gathering. It's sort of a trading card game.
Okay.
There's a humongous round table, like the Knights of the Round Table, in the castle room. So any way they want to use that space, they can. And there's an adult up there also offering an optional activity. So kids come alone and they are not quite sure about joining in with other kids. There's something happening there that's a little bit overseen by someone, so they feel a little more comfortable.
Okay. I'd be the kid who took the book and went in the corner and read and absolutely did not know what was going on around me while I was in the book.
And that's perfectly fine too.
Okay.
They can use it any way they like.
Okay. I want to go back to Raising Wizards, because you have a lot to say about this. Now we're still on kids, but you have another raisingwizards.com. So can you tell us what they are, and then integrate the two and see how they work together?
RaisingWizards.com is another website that I started for parents of gifted children. And I came out of the gifted education field, and when we moved here, there are not a lot of gifted education jobs right around this area.
Okay.
But I thought I have a lot of information I'd love to share, so everything that I learned from my master's program I put online for parents, especially new parents who aren't exactly sure, is my child gifted? What should I do about school?
Okay.
So everything is laid out there, and then I also offer parent coaching individually. So if someone had a situation where, let's say, they have a young child and they don't want to go to private school, how do we address the administration to this child really wants to learn faster or more or something different. So that's other help that I provide.
Okay. Now, how does that fit into the Storyteller's Cottage?
When I started offering parent discussion groups for parents to just really share their experiences, and I was hearing over and over again, my kid is having trouble finding other kids who like what they like, and we're always looking for new things to do, something that might be a little bit more intellectual. We don't necessarily want to go out to eat, go to the movies, watch a sports game, something else. And instead of
the nerds.
Yes, exactly. The geeks and the nerds needed to get together somewhere, and so we founded this as a place where it's really a magnet now for.
Now, what's the age groups on this?
It's Really, as young as is interested. Probably 7 is the youngest who would really enjoy that.
Okay.
And then all the way up. But anyone who loves that kind of thing, we take them all.
Okay, and the books can be anything.
Anything.
Okay.
Yep, they're all there. We're actually getting a lot of donations, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's nice.
The library has been wonderful donating
Really?
books, and the different contractors who came through. My father has books. I'm going to bring you books. Oh, books are coming in from everywhere. It's great.
That's good. Yeah, it's nice because I know when I was growing up, unfortunately, I had the nuns most of the time, and they didn't. That was back when they didn't think girls knew anything about math or science. So that's good. I mean, that's a really good thing. I mean, Simsbury's got decent education, but yeah, there is that different element, and it's nice to know that there is a resource around for people who kind of need that. Now, if I had a book club and I wanted to rent a room, how would I go about doing that? And is that something that you envision happening?
Yes, in fact, it's happened already. Simsbury Newcomers Club is coming with their book club in November, and it's very simple to do. Any space is available to rent in the house. So you can do it online or you can contact me by phone. And the rental rates are very, very affordable. I wanted to make it accessible to everyone.
Right.
So it's $5 to $10 an hour, depending on how big the room is that you want. So book clubs, which normally don't bring in money, so don't have money to spend, it works.
Good. So if you had a book club that sort of wandered around to different people's houses, they could use your venue instead and be surrounded by this fantasy world.
Exactly.
Oh, that's very cool. I like that. You have a calendar online, and it's quite extensive. Again, your website, you have a huge calendar, and you've only just started. I mean, I looked at the calendar the other day and I went, wait a minute, this is a startup business in a way. Your calendar is
exploding.
Yeah, that's a good word. That's a very good word.
It's been amazing how many people have contacted me with suggestions of events that they would like to be involved in. There are a lot of authors in this area.
Really?
Way more than I ever imagined.
Okay.
And they are hustling hard. They came called and emailed immediately. I have an idea for a class, a workshop. I'd like to do a reading. I'd like to have a club. And it's sort of now taking on a life of its own. This is now, I feel like... We have a picture of one of the authors actually doing a course with, I guess these are students? These are students. The picture we have here is a local author, Karen LaFranc, who is offering a creative writing course for kids in 5th through 8th grade called the League of Imagineers.
Okay.
And that is a 6-week class that by the end of it, they will each have a story that's ready for publication. And she has a list of all places that take youth writing or writing competitions as well. So either one. And then
one of yours I noticed was listed as being sold out. And I'm like, how did they do that already?
Yeah, well, the table's not that huge.
Her class is sold out. I mean, this is a new business.
Right. We had a limit of 8 to be able to fit into this space.
Okay.
And so that is sold out. And she's got another one on the calendar for the winter time.
Okay.
But the response has been wonderful.
Really? It seems to me that you have so many events. It's almost difficult to quantify or much less explain. But one of the things I noticed, which unfortunately after I looked at it, I realized I couldn't go. But you had a Nancy Drew tea party.
Yes.
I mean, I was one of those kids who had every Nancy Drew book published. So
you can come if you want.
Okay. It's for kids 5 to 8, according to the website. But I mean, that. Tell us what you do with that.
So with that group, we're going to do a mini escape game in the Agatha room. So Agatha's escape room, mystery room has clues in it that are a little difficult for 5 to 8-year-olds, so we'll have a special one.
Okay.
They start in the room, they solve their mystery, and then they come downstairs and they have tea. And the idea for that came from a mom that I met whose daughter was 6 and loved the Nancy Drew books, and said her, biggest goal in her life was to find Bess, a partner in crime, someone who could help her solve mysteries, but at 6 years old could not find anyone else in her grade who was into that. So
really,
and that also is sold out because apparently those girls are there. They're out there waiting for someone to help them solve.
I am glad to hear that. You also have things like Dungeons and Dragons, something that I've never understood. And pizza nights and family board game nights. I just, on the underneath, are you trying to get kids to read rather than stick their nose in their phone and their iPad? Okay. we won't talk about that.
But yes, all of those things are great to get kids away from the TV, away from the computer, and out of their homes and with other kids. And all of it really kind of centers around wanting to be in those books that you love to read. And the Dungeons and Dragons is fun because, again, you create a character and you play as the character. And the way it works is you roll dice to see what happens to your character. I might say to you, your character is going for a walk. You find a chest. You roll the dice. If it's a high number, you found something great in your chest. If it's a low number, you found something horrible like snakes in your chest. And then the story moves on from there. But we're doing it for kids and for parents together. So together and apart. You can come with or without, or you can do it as a family activity.
So family can come in and bring their board games and just
and
play
we
there.
have some too. And what we're going to try to do is like a tournament where you come in.
I love it.
Some of them also the kids will teach the parents how to play some of these games that they don't know how to play.
Good idea. Well, unfortunately, this went by very quickly. Our time is up for today, and there is a whole lot more to explore. I would encourage all of our viewers to visit the Storyteller's Cottage website, which has a very full calendar of upcoming events. We've included the web address on the title page of today's program. The website is extremely good. It has more detailed descriptions of all the activities Lisa discussed here today, including how to participate in an event or book a special event of your own. If you're a reader or a writer and you want a special place to call your own, the Storyteller's Cottage is definitely the place for you. I want to wish all of our viewers a happy and creative day. Thank you, Lisa.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.